Morning, morning. Welcome to a glorious day on the wildlands. We're in a bit of a heat wave, which we're struggling with, having been through slightly cooler weather. So it's due to be over 30 today. So later in the video we take you to the lake, where Juan's going to try out our new supboard. Like to go down, honey? And we finally finished the chicken emporium.
It's done. I'm sure we'll make more improvements to it
I think so.
as time goes on, but for now it's done and we can move on to other things.
So we'll give you a quick look round at the bits that you've not seen before. And what else have we got planned?
Our next big build is our toilet, shower, pantry build. That's going over there a ways, and we're going to show you us pegging it out and marking out the space so that we can see if we think it's actually going to be big enough, or if we need to increase it, or if we're being ridiculous and making it massive, need to make it smaller. And that's partly for us, it'd be nice to have an indoor shower as well as our outdoor Tarzan shower, and partly so that when we have guests staying, if they're not all inclusive in their van or whatnot, then they have a toilet and the shower to use.
So enjoy tonight's video. In July 2021, with the increase in travel restrictions caused by Brexit and the pandemic, we decided to buy off-grid land in Portugal to live a more sustainable lifestyle.
Follow along with our journey as we turn our beautiful but derelict land into our very own slice of off-grid heaven, wildlands.
So first of all, you want to tell everyone what we've done in the chicken emporium?
We started with the coop and the secure pen, which you've seen. Since then, Dom has built a special little roof to go on top of the secure pen because the drapey tarp that we had to put on there to keep the rain out wasn't very attractive, so we made a smart one.
Oh, hello!
Dom did his beautiful wiggly fencing round half of the pen. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and it's got all new bits all sticking up at the top to try and put the chickens off trying to flap over the top of it and put off predators wanting to jump in. Around the outside of the wiggly fence we've done some planting, made a little plant border. We've made sure to only use plants that chickens are able to eat, so we've put in lots of peas, but not sweet peas. Sweet peas are poisonous, but normal peas are fine. And unfortunately they've already found most of them and pulled them out. Yeah. They survived half a day or so. We've used lettuces, bamboo, violas, things like that. Inside the outdoor run, Dom created a little perch stand. It's got lots of just bits of wood off of the land, and it's all securely screwed together, and the chickens jumped on it within 5 minutes of noticing it. They like that. They love a bit of a perch as well as to walk around on the floor. They've got an outdoor nesting kind of area, which it's not necessarily to be used as a nest box. They could just go and sit in there and take some shade, and it's actually what we're sitting on right now. It's a perfect height for sitting on and having a chicken on your lap, which we love to do, and they're actually surprisingly agreeable to coming and sitting on your lap for a bit. Nothing to do with pockets full of corn or anything. And also underneath the coop, it looked a little bit ugly because we had the feet of the coop were on breeze blocks. So Dom put some planks around the outside of it, filled up the inside with sand, lots and lots of sand. So the idea is it's a sand pit for the chickens, and they can, you know, dust bath and so on in there. And so far they haven't actually done any bathing, but they have walked around on it lots. I think they're just getting used to it. I built a little loggy, branchy kind of corner, just to give the girls, because they love the one that was in their secure pen. So I wanted to give the girls somewhere safe that they could hide and feel safe and comfortable, and they love that too. They've gone in there, they sit in there lots. And other than that, we've just been bringing in bits of grass and piles of manure and weeds and things off of the land for them to scratch and peck at. They're absolutely loving it, aren't they? I
think they're the happiest chickens ever.
Yeah.
So how many chickens have we got at the moment, Missy?
We have 3. We have Gloria, who was our first, who was called Opal when she arrived, but she's definitely a Gloria. And then we have Sweet Pea and Betty, who you've all met before.
Yep, I was only asking because how many chickens will we have on Monday?
Maybe have 5.
Yep. It's very exciting. So we've got 2 new chickens coming on Monday.
Yep, a black one and a grey one.
So that's exciting. Both layers as well,
yep.
Which would be nice. No eggs as yet.
No eggs. No, the babies are too babyish, and Gloria doesn't seem to lay eggs. She likes sitting on her nest that she's made, and she clucks, and that's about it. We've checked online, haven't we, and we've done lots and lots of research into chickens, as we like to do, and there's nothing wrong with her. She's not ill, she's not egg-bound, she's not broody because she's not exhibiting any of those symptoms. She just likes sitting on her nest and not laying eggs.
So we think Gloria's a clucker, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And a clucker, which was pointed out to us online by a couple of our followers, so thanks very much for that. A clucker is basically a lady hen who doesn't lay many eggs, and her job is to be like a surrogate mum. So she's been going in the coop every day and sitting on her nest, as Missy said a minute ago, and then when our other chickens lay eggs, she might sit on them for them as well. So it's quite sweet, really. Not
that we need them sitting on.
No, absolutely not.
We haven't got a rooster, we don't intend to get a rooster. No. Reasons for that is that roosters can be, well, they're supposed to protect their flock, so then they get a bit aggressive, and we don't fancy being attacked by a rooster. We're going to keep them protected, so they'll be fine. Hens do just fine on their own.
So I hope you enjoyed looking around the finished chicken emporium. So we're off to the lake now, aren't we?
Yes.
It's exciting. So it's 10 in the morning and it's already 25 degrees.
It's hot. I can feel myself crisping. Stay in the shade, swim lots. Before we go, I want to say a big thanks to Jewel and Keith for helping us with watering on the land and for helping build the chicken sandbox, and to John and Nicola, Jack and Abby for helping us with the creation of our little beds around the outside. They did lots of carting of horse poop and rocks and heavy digging and stuff like that, and we're very, very grateful. So thanks for coming to stay with us. And,
all wonderful people as well.
Yeah.
And they were basically both sets were subscribers and followers of us, weren't they? And they came and they made a donation to stay on the land, which was really appreciated. And they did so much work, didn't they? Which was absolutely lovely.
And we had a lovely time sitting around the fire pit and having a chat.
Yep.
So thanks very much, guys. We really appreciate it.
And if any of you are thinking of coming out to Portugal, drop us a message. Could always do with some help on the land. If you want the off-grid experience.
Yeah.
It's certainly a lot of fun. We sit around the fire as well, unless it's the summer.
Give a little tour of the land.
We just have one beer an evening, don't we? So let's hit the lake.
Okay. See you.
The lake.
I'm so excited. Oh no, I can't jump out the one. Hang on a minute. I'm ready. Hello, wishes. Anybody in the water?
So as you can see, we've arrived at the lake and it's absolutely beautiful here. We love this spot. We found it ourselves. It's not on the map. A bit off the beaten track, down another rickety old farmer's road, and there's hardly ever anybody here, which makes it absolutely lovely. So it's about 30 degrees now. Missy's in having a swim. She might be behind me somewhere. I'm going to get me cosy on and get the sup board blown up and see if Juan fancies coming out for a little paddle. And look at that view right across to the mountains. Same mountains you can see from the wildlands. So we're a little bit closer to the mountains now. The lake is at the base of the mountains. It's a man-made lake used for drinking water, and there's a dam which we've crossed and flooded a village to make the lake, but nevertheless absolutely stunning.
Soggy dog.
Done at the lake. Got a lovely day.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's currently 27 degrees.
It's quite muggy.
And it's very muggy. Now we've got the bumpy track to the main road and then home for a cold beer.
Sounds lovely.
Rose is cooking tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
That's exciting.
You cooking tonight?
Am I?
That would be lovely. One of your pasta dinners.
Yeah, I could cook.
Yay!
Mapping out the toilet, the shower and the new pantry addition, where it's going to be, so that we can so we checked all the sizes. And what happened with the sizes, Missy?
Oh, we added a bit on.
So it's a bit bigger now.
We're making a building and we might as well add a little bit more on. You can have a little bit more storage, and instead of one day having to build a whole second building. So we're going to have we're going to have fridges and freezers and bookshelves.
Yeah, it's exciting. So we're going to map it out and show you what the size looks like.
Oh no, it's going in. Okay, is that right?
10 centimetres too short.
Why have to do that?
So we've mapped out the building and it's increased vastly in size based on the pantry, which is at this end as we're calling it. So that's where we're going to have 2 freezers at a later date, so we can't afford them at the moment, so they'll come maybe in a year or 2. A washing machine and cupboards for our solar system, because our solar panels are going to be just over there on the boulders there. And then where Missy is, if you see the 2 poles at the back, the pantry goes from the first pole to the second, and the second to the third is the shower, which will have hot, cold, fully plumbed running shower with a sink for washing. And then the last section, which you might be able to see just over there, I'll put a drone up so you can see it, is the toilet. And then it's going to be on stilts, if you can imagine that. So here it'll probably be about this height, so that at the back the IBCs will be the other side of the terrace, so lower down. And I've mentioned them before, but we'll have 1 IBC for well water and rainwater that will collect off the roof, 2nd IBC to collect wee-wee, and a 3rd IBC to collect grey water from the shower and when you wash your hands in the sink and so on. And the grey water, we bought special soap which is environmentally okay for watering trees, and then the plan is that we will mix the urine of ourselves and our guests with the grey water and water trees. And I've done a little test on that because somebody did message me and say that we were gross for using urine. So I have done a test which is really quite cool, although it is slightly gross, which I'll show you later in the video. I've not told Missy yet, so I might get into trouble, but it is quite an interesting experiment. So yeah, I'll get the drone out, you can have a look from the top. So overall we ended up with 6.5 metres left to right, 4.5 metres front to back.
The other thing you haven't mentioned,
yeah,
I think you were just about to actually, I caught you, was we've said about what the back to front space is going to be, but just here this is something else, isn't it?
Yeah. So from here, which is the front of the building, at about this height is the veranda, which is 1.5 metres, so that's like 4 foot give or take.
About here.
So that'll run along the front with 3 doors. So first door for the toilet will be a standard size door. 3rd door for the pantry will be a standard size door, and then what I'm planning in the middle section to make it symmetrical for my OCD is I want to get one of the vintage Portuguese doors, which are 2, as Missy says, so they're 2 doors like this with stained glass windows. You can pick them up second hand for about 50 quid. And then the fence work at the front of the veranda will be Dom's rustic, off the land, wiggly, beautiful fencing. So really exciting. And then the plan also, because our solar's going to be there, is on the roof, which we're now boarding out, so it's going to be quite a hefty structure. We're going to have a solar shower water collection system. So you've probably seen those on holiday. So it's like a solar panel like this, and then in the gap behind the solar panel is a big barrel which is filled with water, and then the sun, pretty self-explanatory. The solar from the panel heats up the water, so you've got hot water all day long, all night long, so that we can have guests and they can shower. We can shower in hot water in the winter.
Lovely. And inside.
And you can go to the toilet while somebody's showering. It's
Yes.
all very exciting.
Yes.
But it's going to be quite an expensive project, and as you know from previous videos, we're slightly skint, so we're going to do it piecemeal.
Do it in stages, yeah.
We're going to put the floor and the structure, because it's on stilts, so we've already bought the stilts, we've bought the IBCs, so the next thing is we're going to buy the materials for the floor.
And the, what do you call them, joists?
And the joists,
To hold it all together.
Yeah, so we're going to do that first. So we're going to do that first, and then when we get a bit more money in, we'll start the walls and the structure, so it could take many, many months to get it. Oh God. Sorry, I'm getting attacked by bugs.
The other thing I don't think you mentioned was that we're going to stick storage in wherever possible.
Yeah.
So there's going to be shelves and cupboards and a bit of clothes storage behind the toilet, and lots of bookshelves. I have so many books in the van.
I know, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So if you go into visualization mode, so if you imagine where Missy is, she's stood on the veranda and she's about 3 foot off the ground, maybe 2.5 foot, and then she walks down here to the door of the pantry, and then at the back of the pantry we've measured it out, so we've got room for 2 upright freezers on the back wall, where Missy is demonstrating Bruce Forsyth style, and then a washing machine, and then along here a worktop with all our solar equipment underneath, more storage, maybe another sink so you can come here and do washing up away from the bathroom. All very exciting. Nearly forgot before I go my slightly gross, but actually not that gross experiment, but it's a very, very cool result. So behind me here, I've got 3 raspberries. So I have Exhibit A, Exhibit B, and Exhibit C. So the results of my perhaps gross experiment, following on from a young man sending me a message saying that it was quite unpleasant that we should be considering using our urine to water some of our plants. So it's worth pointing out that if you are going to use urine to water, you shouldn't water salad greens and so on, or plants where the wee-wee is going to come into contact with the parts that you're going to eat. So on this experiment that I did more for myself to see what the results might be, so Exhibit A, which is by far the smallest raspberry and only 1 or maybe 2 flowers. I've not weed on raspberry A, so raspberry A is a clean raspberry with no wee-wee. And Exhibit B, I've peed on occasionally, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. And then Exhibit C, I've peed on at least once a day for the autumn and the growing season. And this has maybe 100 or so flowers on it. So a simple experiment, maybe slightly gross you could argue, but no grosser than going back to the olden days when these sorts of things were considered quite normal in homesteading or your allotment. Normally, if you were saving your wee-wee, you would dilute it 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, so that's 10 parts water or 20 parts water to 1 part urine, and you can water any plants, perennials, trees, fruit trees, raspberries, berries and so on. Any plant really where the urine is not going to come into contact with parts that you're going to eat. And there are some people that do use it to water all their plants on the basis that if it's a salad green, they're washing it before they eat it. But personally, I'm going to limit it to my fruit trees and berries, such as my raspberries, and the results speak for themselves. Can't believe the difference that's made to the raspberry crop. So on that basis, thanks very much for watching. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but this week's video has our highest production values. We've been using a tripod, putting a lot more time and effort into filming, which whilst it's, I think, generated a really cool and interesting video with much better camera shots and angles, has taken us a long time to edit up. So if you've enjoyed it, perhaps you would consider sharing it amongst your friends, family, or on your Facebooks, Instagrams, etc. So really, really appreciate that. And we appreciate you watching and all your comments and likes. So, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you very soon with another video. Ciao!